Welcome back. Now, Cyclone IDAI has moved towards western Zimbabwe after passing through Mozambique. The Cyclone IDAI carries heavy rains and winds of up to 177 kilometers per hour. The storm has killed more than 100 people and destroyed thousands of homes in Mozambique. Officials say over 500,000 residents have been left without electricity and communications have been severed. The storm has also passed through Malawi. Now, the effects continue to be felt, and it would appear Manicaland Province, east parts of Masvingo, are to have torrential rain and strong winds to the east of Zimbabwe. Since yesterday, Mukandi has received 203 millimeters in 24 hours, Gutu 100 millimeters, Wedaz 86 millimeters, Zaka 78, Matondera 65. The cyclone, though degraded, is expected to influence the weather. Indications are that it will weaken further from Monday. We continue to monitor the system. Let's talk now to MSD head for forecasting, Tich Zinyemba, who is in Harare in Zimbabwe via telephone. A very good morning to you. How are the weather conditions? Has the cyclone IDAI hit Zimbabwe yet?
Well, at least we can feel, good morning to your listeners first, well, we can feel the effects of the tropical cyclone, which has since been degraded into a depression. But having said that, it's still causing a lot of rain. Just to add to some of the amounts that you read off, Chisengu, which is in the eastern or Manicaland Province, has even had 407 millimeters in the last 24 hours. So that's quite a huge torrential, that's quite some torrential rain there. I'm looking at the latest imagery here, still showing that the tropical cyclone or depression is still in the central parts of Mozambique, but in terms of cloud, it's extending further into Zimbabwe, and obviously this cloud is accompanied by rain and torrential rain in the eastern half of the country.
Which specific areas do we expect to be affected as the cyclone moves on?
Well, you might be aware that the eastern borders of Zimbabwe are very mountainous, so it's either that it will move northwestward, in other words, up along the border to affect provinces such as Mashonaland East, Mashonaland Central, and perhaps even Mashonaland West. Having said that, we can some areas in Masvingo, which are to the south, are feeling the effect of the tropical system. Hence, the amount of rain that has been recorded there is like 78 millimeters at Zaka, and also about 44 millimeters at Masvingo, which is far to the south. So the extent is really going to depend, or the influence of this system is going to be influenced by the topography. In other words, we're expecting it to move slowly northwards and weakening further. But at the moment, as I said earlier on, it's still the effect is still being felt more to the east of the country.
You work in forecasting services. Were you able to see this one coming? And the countries that have been affected, are they well prepared in terms of their responses?
Well, indeed, in terms of monitoring this system, we saw it developing, I think it was in the early parts of this month, around the 3rd. It was affecting the northern parts of Mozambique into Malawi. I'm sure you might be aware of the devastation that was caused there, and it then recapped on itself back into the Mozambique Channel, strengthening at the same time, and then culminating in this tropical cyclone IDAI, which since a couple of days ago has been progressing westwards, hitting landfall like the day before yesterday over Mozambique. Yes, we have been monitoring this. Now, in terms of the of damage that might have occurred, I think this is more the ambit of disaster management authorities, and I'm confident that a lot is being done to assist those vulnerable groups that may be affected by the torrential rain that is falling, especially over the eastern parts of the country.
Just your assessment of the aftermath, what has happened? The people that have lost their homes, are they being accommodated?
Well, unfortunately, in terms of that would really fall under the ambit of our Department of Civil Protection, whose mandate is to coordinate the rescue or whatever issues that might need to be dealt. But in as far as the Meteorological Services Department, we are actually part of that National Disaster Committee, and we will be advising in terms of the areas that are likely to be impacted further, and to the extent of the rain, by how much. So really, that's where we end. But I'm sure we're confident, as we're confident that all emergency services are actually looking after these people.
You say the cyclone has been downgraded. When do we expect it to die down?
Well, it really depends on how it is going to move further into the country, because there are two scenarios here. It might just die down in Mozambique in situ, or as I said, it might move northwards, and the weekend was by moving over ground, it tends to lose moisture, and because of the frictional effects, it retards its progress. So it might actually weaken, and we're looking at maybe from Monday into Tuesday, you might see just some light rain in the northeastern parts of the country, that system having died down or at least moved away further into perhaps southern Zambia or even southern parts of Mozambique.
Do we have any expectations of it having any impact on South Africa by any chance?
I'm not sure, because obviously this is in the central parts of Mozambique, and maybe the extreme northern parts, like along the Limpopo Valley, that's where they might actually feel in terms of cloudiness. But I'm sure they are also monitoring. South African Weather Service is monitoring the effects of the clouds as far as the northern parts of South Africa are concerned. But clearly, it is more over Zimbabwe and Mozambique.
Tich Zinyemba is the head of forecasting at MSD. Thank you so much for giving us that update.